Hey guys, Vice from Cloud9 here, and I'm going to show you how to play Cypher on Bind. I have short A still. One up short A dead.
Nice, Dan.
One more.
Feel Tyson.
Cypher dead, Cypher
Nice,
dead.
Dan.
76, 76.
Dead!
Nice!
Go,
Good
baby.
fucking round, Dan. Flash it.
Knowing
Good.
now.
Yep. Dead. One more, deep. Oh my god. Nice. Nice. Good,
Get a
Kevin.
cage out. Omen smoke here.
Dash. Order what?
Yeah, they're going in, going in.
I shot that guy. Dead. One.
Oh,
It's
fuck.
good. Jet is good. Jet is good.
Remaining.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Let's
Nice.
go,
Holy
baby.
shit.
It's fucking around.
So I like playing Cypher on Bind because there's a lot of narrow choke points, basically, and his utility is really good for covering those choke points, whether it's on defense or offense, right? So the cages, the camera, the tripwires are all very useful. So starting with defense, I basically like to play A lot. Playing A with Cypher frees up your team to play maybe 3B, and maybe you can play A kind of retakey, like a retakey style. You could play with your duelist. Maybe you can support your duelist in getting like an early kill at A, and then maybe falling back to a retake position. Normally I'll play with the rays here. It's really good because the rays can stop the plant while you have your camera and tripwires to help you and the rays also get a kill on the retake, maybe make it into a 5v4, which is a really winnable position for your team. And so generally when I'm playing Cypher on A, I'll usually play pretty defensively, and I'll pepper in like maybe a little aggressive rounds here and there, but I think for the majority of the rounds I'm on A, I'll play pretty defensively. I want to get my use out of my utility before, you know, I go for any engagements, any maybe 50-50 engagements. So the very common things you can do with Cypher, which I think are still pretty strong, right? You can do maybe a trip and showers like this. What this will do is you basically don't have to worry about showers ever until they come and break it. Maybe leave a cage here as well. You can obviously do this very common trip here, but it's, you know, your enemies might expect this one, so there's a variety of different trips you can do around this area that will, you know, maybe catch your opponents off guard if you still want to use your utility towards short A. This is a really good one, this trip here. Oops. This one's really hard to deal with because maybe they'll come out and they won't hear the trip maybe until they're kind of exposed to many angles. So they can jump this trip here, but it's also very risky because they kind of have to jump into this U-haul angle, which is somewhere you can play off the trip. This cage is also very good. And like I said, I like to play very defensively. Maybe I'll leave my camera here if I want to spot them. If I want to see if they want to walk up A. Sometimes you can get a tag off and the Brimstone or the Omen will do smokes here. And off your camera tag, you can maybe go for a peek and get a kill through the smoke, which is really good. This camera is often broken pretty much every time, so if you want to keep your camera alive for, like, let's say a retake round, you have your cages short A, and you have your cage shower, and you have your camera for a retake. Maybe something like this is really good, right? Because the enemies will typically plant around the truck, and you're able to see this position around U-haul, and you're able to see where they plant the bomb. You're able to see short A. It's a really good camera for a retake. And basically when your teammates start coming over and they've planted the bomb, what you can do is you can pop these cages. Maybe look at your camera before you pop them, go for a tag, pop the cages, and you have a lot of space to retake the site because this angle is blocked off here, which is really common if they plant at the truck. And obviously maybe they'll break the trap, the wire here, but your cage will be up here, and your teammates can basically funnel in through this way and basically start to retake the site. Some more common tripwires, maybe if they start shock darting or if they start to come up and break it, you can do a tripwire like this, which is a little deeper. It doesn't provide the same coverage, but if they want to come hit A and plant at the truck, you might be able to catch someone here. Another very good trip that's pretty powerful is if you're playing retake or you want to play in U-haul, you can do a trip like this. And you can basically just play off your tripwire. Maybe a lower one. If you do a lower one, they can obviously jump over it, but I think when they get to this point, they won't expect a tripwire here, and a low one is pretty hard to shoot, so if they want to break it, you know that their crosshair is aiming very low, and by the time they break it, you can maybe go for a peek, get a fast kill, maybe fall off, and also play the 5v4 situation that way. So sometimes, if you want to make an aggressive play, just to catch your opponents off guard, maybe you can come in showers with your teammate, and if you have a Sova on your team or maybe a Phoenix towards long B, you can really use the teleporters to catch your opponents off guard. So either the Sova can be long B and drone through the teleporter, or the Phoenix can come use his ultimate ability and come through the shower TP. So while your teammates are coming through the shower TP, you and maybe your Raze or your Jet that you're playing A with can come through the cage like this. And if you can time it right, maybe you can, your teammate through the shower teleporter and your shower, you and your shower teammate can fight this guy together. You can secure showers, and basically, if they want to come showers again later in the round, they have to be worried that you're playing aggressively. So it's just a spot that you don't really have to worry about for a while, and maybe if you get the kill, you and your teammates can come back out showers and play heavy for short A or just reset towards B. You have a lot of options, and maybe you can get yourself like a 5v4 or 5v3 situation. As I said, like most of the rounds you'll be playing A, but I think Cypher, it's really important to kind of switch up where you're playing and keep your opponents on their toes, whether it's an aggressive play or maybe just switching the site that you're playing. So here's some options that you can do at B. For Hookah, I like to do this trip. It's very hard for the opponents to break. Yeah. So you can do this tripwire here, and basically if your opponents want to jump out of Hookah, it's very hard for them to break it, and it's actually very hard for them to notice it, because if it's very rare that opponents will just walk up like this to break the trip. So most of the time, if they want to hit B, they'll just jump out of Hookah, and they'll just get caught on this trip here, which, you know, depending on where you're playing, is basically a free kill. Obviously, pairing your tripwire with the cages is also very good, right? So if they start smoking you off at B and they throw a utility like a Raze nade or a molly maybe, what have you, you can pop the cage and it'll delay them, basically. And if they want to come through the cage, it's a very favorable fight for you. You kill them. You can just do like a simple trip like this is fine, right? With the cage. And maybe you can do a camera like this. It gives you good sight into Hookah and also into long B. If you're playing kind of a lone B or maybe you're 2B, you can do defensive cages or trips. Maybe like a trip here could be good, right? And you're kind of playing off the site. You're kind of playing retake B this time, right? Maybe if your teammates want to play 3A, they have something in mind they want to do, maybe play kind of retakey, maybe elbow or maybe backside. If you want to play backside, these cages are good, maybe. Cage left and right of the site. It gives you a lot of space to live, maybe, and you can get a free kill. Play 5v4 and wait for your teammates to rotate in, and you guys can retake the site together. Typically what I like to do though, if I'm playing retake B, using the cages for yourself in sight is not a bad idea, but I think your cages could be better used for Hookah and long B, and instead of popping them as they come out, you'll just leave the cages there. Try to get a kill off your trip through the smoke here if you can. And maybe if you're playing retake, you can maintain this control elbow so that when your teammates rotate CT, they don't have to worry about anyone elbow, maybe peeking them or just getting a timing, a weird kill, and then running away. So if you maintain this control and you have your cages up, once your teammates rotate in, you can pop the cages for them. They don't have to worry about the Hookah angle or the long B angle. They're able to run in the site. They can use their own utility to clear out angles, like hard angles like this, but basically it's really important that they're able to run out and you can block off an angle for them. It's really helpful in the retake. Some other camera positions, maybe if you want to play retake, I would not recommend this camera if you're playing retake. I think a better camera for retake would be something like this. Because if you're playing retake, you kind of want to keep your cam up for the retake when your teammates rotate in. Maybe once your teammates start coming in, you can tap your cam, go for a tag, right? And that can lead you to an easier kill. Maybe you understand how they're playing the site for the post plant. Like let's say your teammates come out CT and you're able to tap your cam, you see an opponent here, you can communicate that to your teammates, and it just makes for a lot easier retake. Playing Cypher on offense, I think you'll generally be more towards the sides of the map, so that would mean showers and long B maybe. If you're towards showers, I typically like to do this camera here. This camera is good if they want to play aggressively showers. You can basically spot the push before you're in danger. And what's really common for showers is maybe the opponent is opping showers and you're able to spot the opper here. And if you're able to spot the opper, that can free up your teammates taking other places of the map, and they don't have to worry about the opper anywhere else. After this, if you don't see anyone, I highly recommend you pick up your camera again. It'll be on a 15-second cooldown, so if you're able to play slow showers, you can maybe do this camera as well. You clear out another angle. If they break the camera and they're playing aggressively, what I'll probably do is maybe do a cage like this.
Cage triggered.
It'll give you some space to work up. Take your camera back. Maybe peek this angle and then do another cage here.
Cage triggered.
And what this will do is it'll give you space to break the trip. If the enemy team has a Cypher, you can expect a trip, like I said earlier in the video. At the shower entrance, you pop this cage here. It gives you a little space to walk a little more forward than you maybe if there wasn't the cage there. So you pop the cage, you break the trip. Once you break the trip, the Cypher kind of has to respect that you're in showers, or the enemy team rather. That's normally what I do towards showers, but if you want to work towards short A, it's also viable with Cypher because the camera is just very strong. So I'll normally start on, you can start on either side, market or from the shower side. You can just do your camera, see if they're pushing. If you want, you can show some pressure by doing some cages like this, right? Maybe do some U-Haul cages. If the enemy team is playing no one in U-Haul, they kind of have to respect that you can be in U-Haul, which is kind of a mind game that you can do with Cypher, right? You even do an aggressive cam like this. If you can, it's kind of dangerous, but if you can pull off a cam like this, you can spot someone playing backside. You can see what agents are there. If there's an opper backside, it's just the camera gives a lot of good information. So if you can do an aggressive cam, it's very strong. You can go towards Hookah as well. What I'll do is I'll start off the round. If I'm towards Hookah, I'll do a cam like this. See if anyone's peeking. Right? If no one's peeking, take your camera back. Use your cages maybe to block off a side and maybe the right side. You can clear left side here. No one's there. Your camera's back up again. Do a camera like this. You can basically clear up all of Hookah with minimal utility. And if you want to go long B, which is also a very strong place to go with Cypher, at the start of the round the barrier will come down. You can do a camera like this. See if anyone's playing aggressively towards long B. Maybe they want to take the orb, right? There could be a smoke here.
Cage triggered.
And you hear them tap the orb. Maybe you can go for a tap with the camera. And this will push them back off the orb, because if they're tagged with the camera, they feel really pressured, so they have to fall back. After you see that no one's here or you push them back, you can come up here. Just throw a random cage like this. Walk up. Clear to the left. If you feel the need to, you can throw a cage like this, right? What this cage will do is if there's anyone peeking your sight, they can't see you, and you can clear Olive Garden here, which is good. Maybe take the orb, right? Show some pressure. If you have your camera still, maybe do a camera like this is good. I think if you still have some cages left as well, you know, if you want to end B, for example, you can throw a cage like this.
Cage triggered.
Your cages are really good to provide space for your team. You can block off an angle and they only have to worry about the right side of sight. Or, like I said, maybe if the bomb goes down, you can do another aggressive cam, which is really good. And play the post plant with your camera, basically. So once they're in the site, if you hear them tap the bomb, or you hear them coming into the site, you tap your camera, go for a tag, you know, communicate to your teammates how many are coming in from which direction. On attacker side, the Cypher trips obviously are really good for flanks, and I think this is a really good map for flanking, which is why the tripwires are important on attacking side. So you could obviously do a tripwire like this, but the tripwire in market poses some problems because you can kind of jump over it, right? So what I start to do, maybe do a tripwire like this. It's very hard for them to jump over it and counter it. So basically, if they want to flank, they have to break it, and obviously once they break it, you kind of know that they're flanking, right? So even a tripwire like this it's kind of okay, but it's also, they can jump over it using this bucket, which is something you have to be aware of. So I'll normally pair the market tripwire with maybe a tripwire outside showers, like this is good, or maybe this one is also good. It just depends on where you want to go. So if you want to work towards showers, I would recommend the tripwire over here, because if your teammates need to fall off of short A or they want to go towards B and you're alone towards A, there's an opening where maybe the short A guys push and they want to flank you from showers. This tripwire will give you that information. Or if you want to maybe show presence showers but leave it at some point, you can do this tripwire here, and if they want to regress showers and push from showers, they have to deal with this trip here, which is you cannot counter this trip at all, just like this one. They have to break it, so you'll know. Other than that, I think another important thing is picking up your camera, but also picking up your tripwire. So if you show presence early showers, but you want to end B, I think this tripwire doesn't really do anything much for you. So if you want to group back with your teammates at B, you take your tripwire back here. You have a tripwire for the post plant would be good, or you can do another tripwire towards maybe here. I mean, I wouldn't really recommend this one, but if you really want to, you can do one here. I think the best use of a tripwire could be for the post plant. So let's say you group back with your teammates at B and you successfully take the site. You could do a tripwire maybe for elbow. If you can manage one, it's kind of dangerous and risky. I wouldn't really recommend this one, but if you're feeling bold, you can do a tripwire maybe for CT, right? It's another annoying thing for them to deal with. Or even right on the bomb, let's say you plant here for long B, you could easily just do a tripwire like this, right? And sometimes if it comes down to you know, like a clutch situation where it's 1v1 or something and they feel pressured to, maybe they want to tap the bomb or try to get it to half, they'll just blindly run into the bomb. Maybe you can catch them just on the tripwire. It's a free kill because it's a lot of pressure for them to run into a wire and maybe run into the bomb. So to summarize, there's not very many creative things you can do with the tripwires on defense. So just things to keep in mind are, you know, switch up where you put your utility. Generally a defensive agent, right? But sometimes you can play aggressively on defense. On offense, don't be afraid to use your utility to take space on the map. Use your camera, use your cages, right? Tripwire the flanks, that's really important. And just be dynamic with your utility and how you play and take map control and play defense. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment down below on who you guys want to learn next, and stay subscribed to see more content like this. Thanks for watching. Go check out the new Cloud9 app you can find in the App Store for quick and easy updates on your phone.